just come in the back door on me, and I didn't realize that. Well, I know this is kind of a different way to worship for our church services and stuff, but I want to thank everybody for coming. It's been a tough 8-9 weeks, whatever, but I appreciate all the support. And I know I don't have a mask on, but I know I'm up here away from you, and I figured if I'm going to sing, I can't really sing with the mask on, and I can't preach with the mask on, because you might hear a little so, but I appreciate everybody taking the time to come out and be with us this morning. And Brenda and I both, you know, we had birthdays and an anniversary, and everybody sent us cards and gifts and stuff. Thank you very much for everything you've done and for the support that you've given us as a church. People sending money in, and I mean checks upon checks upon checks, and bringing cash to the house, and you kept us going, really have. And this isn't my church. I don't want anybody to ever think that I ever get that idea, but this is our church. And I thank you for keeping our church going the way it is. And we've been able to survive, let's put it that way, and survive really well, really have, because of your generosity and everything that everybody has done. But we're going to do something different this morning. We're going to have a lot more singing than we usually do. I will preach at the end of it, but Gary and the guys are going to do a couple songs, and then Brenda and I and Dawn are going to do 2 or 3 songs. But I'm going to turn to it as soon as I can find it for you. I thought about this song this morning when I come over early to get things ready, but I didn't look it up. But I want you to turn to 472 with me. We're going to sing a song, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Amen. If you want to put something in there when you go out, do it that way. I'm going to try to do things as right as we know how to do, so we don't intermingle and things. But I know that it's tough. It really is to see people sitting around with masks on in church, but that's what they want us to do. That's what we're going to have to do if we're going to meet together. I seen a church this morning that had down in San Diego, California, and he must have had 6,000 or 7,000 people in there. Not one mask on anybody, and they were all sitting next to each other. And I thought to myself, and it's the one's advertised, is televised today, the service. And I thought, what's going on? How come they can get away with that and other people can't? But I said, God, we're going to do what you commanded us to do and what the authorities say. So I said we're going to have some extra singing. I'm going to have Gary and the guys come on up. They're going to do a couple songs, and then Brenda and I and Dawn are going to do a couple, 2 or 3 this morning. So if you come up and help us if you would. Gary, would you do? One of these songs Gary's going to do, I requested, so.
When I think of all the so-called good times that I've had, when I reflect on my past, sometimes makes me sad. I thank the Lord above for turning my life around. Now I'm lifting up the name of Jesus, putting old I'm not on an ego trip. I'm nothing on my own. I make mistakes. I always slip. Just common flesh and bone. But I'll prove someday just what I say. I'm of a special kind. For when he was on the cross, I was on his mind. For he knew me, yet he loved me.
And I can't even begin to imagine where we would have been if it hadn't been for Christ in our lives and in our marriage, and where this church would be, and just everything in our life. If you think of everything that we've gone through, and yet God has given us as Christians a peace to know that He's still in charge. He's still God. He still reigns. He's still with us, and I'm so thankful for that.
Said that Solomon would be the wisest man of the wisest. He was going to be the one that could figure everything out. We all know the story about the two ladies that had the little baby, they both had babies, and one laid on the other one and died in the night. And the one that laid on her baby and it died, she stole the other woman's baby. They took the two of them went to Solomon because they was arguing about whose baby it was. And Solomon said, "I'll tell you how we'll figure this out." He gave the woman whose mother, who was the original mother of the baby, gave her a saw and said, "Here, you cut the baby in half and both of you will have half the baby." She said, "No, if the baby has to be killed, you give it to her." Solomon said, "You're the mother because you loved it enough that you didn't want it to die." Now, I don't know whether I'd had wisdom enough to do that or not, to tell you folks, and I probably wouldn't have had. But that just shows you the wisdom that God gave Solomon to how to discern through different things. We realize that Ecclesiastes, we started studying it one night in 1 week or a couple of weeks. We would got into a Bible study, and we got through, I guess, about maybe 3 or 4 weeks of it. And finally we decided, boy, this is discouraging. I'm not reading any more of this. It's just getting me downhearted and stuff, and because it can really get you downhearted if you pay attention, if you really realize what Solomon is saying here. Because I can sum up the whole story, I can sum up the whole message this morning just by reading the first 3 verses to you, which I'm not going to read. But he said, "Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Nothing's worth anything," in other words. But I do want to read with you. I want to start at the 4th verse this morning. And I want to read down through the 11th verse. And then we're going to go over to, I'll talk a little bit about that. And then I want to go over to the 2nd chapter because I want you to know that Solomon was a very smart man. He could discern things. He had a way that God gave him the intelligence to be able to discern these certain situations. But the 4th verse of the very 1st chapter starts out this way. "One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. But the earth abideth forever. The sun also arises, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with hearing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. I love when I got reading it through that just this week, I thought to myself, when you read this, you realize that everything that happens, it just keeps happening over and over and over and over. And that's what is happening in this day and age that we live in today. If we remember how the Jewish children, the Jewish nation, how they rebelled against God, and they kept getting hardships and hardships and hard times and things, and then they'd come over that. And then they'd go into something else. They'd have some more hardships, and they'd curse God, and they would say, where's God now in all this situation? Well, I know there's some people in America today saying, where's God in all this situation now? Well, you didn't need, can I say to those people, you didn't need God before, why do you need Him now? You're throwing God out of the country, why do you need Him now? I listened to Robert Jeffries this morning just for a few seconds. About 15 minutes we got to hear him before we came over. And he told about 3 things that has happened in America that has destroying us and why we are slowly going down the tubes, friends. One of them was prayer in school, taken out. The Bible, taken out. The second one was abortion. The third one was same-sex marriage or gay marriage. He says, now God is not going to stand for this stuff very long before you're going to realize that He could judge us just like He did Sodom and Gomorrah, friends. He could put an end to us right now if He wanted to. But God is merciful to us, and He's letting us go on. I want you to know, friends, that it says that when I read that 8th verse, it says that the man cannot utter, the eye is not satisfied with the seeing, and the ear filled with the hearing. You can hear talking, people can talk and talk and talk and talk forever and ever and ever. You can go on and hear messages, you can hear all kinds of things, and your ears never get full. You can see all kinds of things in life. Your eyes never get full. You keep on going, everything keeps going on and on and on. Well, friends, I want you to know that Solomon said, the things that are taking place in this world today, it's just vanity. There's nothing to it. There's no value to it. That's what he's more or less saying. Last night I pulled into this lady's place. She's up Eastbrook Road, go up past Vernon Brown's place, you take a right-hand turn, go up 2 miles off the main road of Redburn, back in the mountain. The farther you go, the smaller the road gets. And I thought to myself, oh my heavens, what have I got myself into? So I went up, and I went right on past her place. She said, I got a big house up on the hill, it's got a pond down by the road. So I thought, I seen the pond when I went by, but I didn't see no house. And I thought, what's going on? Wonder what's going on? I just kept going. I probably went another half mile or so. Finally, I got up there, I went across the brook, down through the brook, and up, I thought, I've gone too far, I'm sure I have. So I turned around and come back down. I seen that little pond, and just beyond the pond there was a road that went up. I said, well, maybe she's up in there. I run up that road, and friends, the grass was like this high. And I said to her, ma'am, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do with this grass. Nothing I can possibly do because it's just way too high. You're going to get somebody here with a brush hog, cut it all down, then maybe I can come back and give you a hand. But I'm kind of hoping the guy that's got the brush hog don't go, because then I won't have to go. That is a long ways back in there, friends, and I would hate to charge the lady what she'd have to get to plow that, to mow that and stuff. But I thought to myself, no, I could have just went off and told that lady, well, no, I don't care, go. I give her my word, I'd be there. And friends, when you give somebody your word to do something, to prove that you're a Christian, keep that word. Keep your word. Make sure that they know that you're honest about what you're doing. I mean it, because that's what people are judging us by. And I heard 3 or 4 preachers this morning on TV. Every one of them said these same words to this effect. Right now, the way America is right now, we are the ones that got the hope for this country. A Christian is the only one that's got the hope for this country right now. And if we don't show the light and don't show the love and don't show the concern that we have, I tell you something, I'm glad that I am not on, I don't do Facebook, I don't do internet, I don't do none of that stuff. Because Brenda happened to show up, no, Bobby showed me something the other night on the TV, on the internet. And maybe some of you seen it, and it really, it has upset me ever since I've seen it. An elderly lady comes out of her store. A bunch of 6 or 7 or 8 guys stand there with 2 before us and literally beat that lady till she couldn't even stand up. And then they kicked her, and they jumped on her. They did all kinds of things to her. An elderly lady. I mean, to look at her, I'd say she's probably in her 70s. Defenseless. And I think to myself, why are they doing this? Do they have any reason to do things like this, friends? I agree with America that the man that killed that young man when he had knelt down onto him, he's guilty for what he done. But I also want to tell you something. What people are doing in America to other people right now, there's no sense to it. But I'm telling you something, we're going to get paid back for what America's doing. The way we're walking away from God, and how we're shunning God, and don't want our kids to have nothing to do with it. I feel sorry, my grandson's going to graduate this year. There's maybe someone else here, I'm not sure. If you are, I'm sorry if I forget you. That is. Nicole's son is going to graduate. I can't even have a graduation ceremony. Think to myself, can you imagine they worked 12 years to get a diploma, to walk up on the stage and somebody hand them a diploma, shake hands with them, congratulate them because they've done it. They can't have it because of the stupid, idiotic stuff that's going on in America today. I want to tell you, friends, it makes me sick to think that the things these kids are getting deprived of. It really does. But I want to tell you something. All the things that I've said this morning, Solomon said that all this stuff, I've got money, I've got possessions, I've got everything I want, but yet I haven't got anything. I don't have anything. It's all worth nothing. If you still got your Bible open, go to the 13th chapter of the book of Ecclesiastes with me. 13th chapter. No, excuse me, the 12th chapter. There's an old 13. 12th chapter. There's the 13th verse of the 12th chapter. I want to show you what Solomon said. Some of you know it already. I don't even have to read it to you. But this is what Solomon said. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. When it says to fear God, that doesn't mean you crawl in the corner because you know God can do something to you or God's going to do something. I don't mean that. When it says fear God here, that means you respect God. That means you have a respect for God. It's too bad in this day and age that we have that respect is one word that is just about thrown out the window. There's no respect for anybody's property, no respect for anybody's possessions, no respect for anybody, whether they're a school teacher or whether they're a preacher, or no matter what their position is in life. We got so we don't respect each other anymore. And it's a shame, friends, that God is getting the least respect of it all. Because they're blaming all this stuff on God. Why is God letting this happen? Why is this going on? I had a shirt on yesterday. That lady looked at it. And on the front of it said, public schools need God. And on the back of it, it said, God, why are you allowing the children to be killed in our schools? God's answer was this, written on the back of my shirt. It says, you have kicked me out of schools. God. And friends, that's what's happening.